Well, this is Steve Ridgel, and I want to take just a minute and tell you about Kenny and Marlene Mercado. I love them. They were baptized this past Sunday, and I want to tell you a little bit of their story. They both grew up with some religious background, but it never did last as much as they wanted. But as they met each other, they were both on kind of a Jesus journey. Got married. They have two precious little girls. They moved to Abilene. He's a parole officer, and he moved to Abilene to work. And they wanted to be involved in church, so they just randomly tried Hillcrest. I came for a few weeks and got interested and even thought about making a commitment to Jesus then, but then it just kind of, as things do sometimes, life got in the way and they kind of dropped out for a few months. But as they talked about it, she found out she was pregnant. They're going to have a third child. And so when they found that out, they really talked a lot about wanting to get back to Jesus and wanting to have their family raised in church and with Jesus. And so they came back, and they came back with a real passion. The first or second Sunday they were back, they met Mike, one of our members, and told him this was the church they were going to get baptized in. So they were pretty far down that road. So they were in Nathan, our preacher, his secret class on Sunday morning, involved with the Jesus Journey class that I do on Wednesday nights. And we had them out to our barnuminium and talked about Jesus, or did some Jesus stories. Did a Bible study or two with them. In fact, one of them, she was sick, and actually Kenny, we studied, and he went home and then studied with Marlene, which is pretty sweet and pretty special. And then they let us know that they were ready to buy in. They wanted to be born again. They wanted to make that commitment. And they wanted to do it in front of what's going to be their new church family. And I thought that was special and sweet. And so we baptized them, and a couple of things really stood out to me. Two things. I always ask people what they believe about Jesus before I baptize them so they can make their confession of faith. And you don't hear this phrase a lot, but one of the things Kenny said that really struck me in his confession, he said, Jesus is my king. I thought, boy, that is, yes, yes. Marlene really emphasized that he was the Son of God in hers. It was sweet and special, and it just really meant a lot. But aside from them being born again, the next most holy thing I saw, besides the ovation and several people even standing for them and clapping, it was a celebration. After we got ready and came down out of the baptistry and came back into the auditorium, and several people had gone to class, but a lot of people hung around just to meet, if they hadn't already met Kenny and Marlene, or just to hug their neck. And boy, Kenny and Marlene were excited, and it was special. But the first person to come down and hug Kenny and tell him welcome to the family was one of his parolees. How holy and special is that? It really meant a lot to Kenny, meant a lot to the parolee. I think that's exactly how church functions, and exactly how God would want it to function. And I suspect those two guys are going to bring a lot of other parole. I mean, y'all know the Hillcrest story probably if you're reading this, listening to this. We have a number of parolees, and man, they struggle with their faith, but just like a lot of us, but they are living faithful lives, and Kenny's committed to helping them, and it's just a special, special thing. So welcome to the family, Kenny and Marlene. We love you, so proud of you, so much appreciate your heart and your commitment and your desire. So where's your Kenny and your Marlene? Because they're out there and they're looking. This is Steve Ridgel being thankful to God. I got to be just a little part of Kenny and Marlene's journey to follow Jesus.